this podcast inside a cute little retro caravan from 1967 that I tow around all over the place.
Podvan Podcast with Rabbit.
Hey, two quick things just before we get started. Did you know that these are video episodes now? I mean, if you're watching this, then yes, you know that. But if you're not watching it, you could be seeing the guests that I'm chatting to in the episode. The video episodes are only available on Spotify. And the other thing is, did you know there's a Patreon members page? I haven't mentioned it for a while, and I've recently had a couple of people sign up saying, I didn't even know this was a thing. So there's like over 200 bits of bonus content in there. There's weekly bonus episodes with Julie that are only for Patreon members, and it's $10 a month. So if you want to join up, you just go to podvan.com.au/members. And thank you so much for all of your support. I really do appreciate it. Let's get to the episode. My guest is Lottie. Not going to say her surname because I thought I had it right, but okay. Dalziel. Well, that's Dalziel. Dalziel.
Yeah.
I just can't think of how it could be anything. Is it like so far away from...
So far away.
Oh, do you say it backwards?
No, there's a couple of your listeners who will know how to pronounce it, and that is because there's a very old TV show that pronounced it correctly.
Really? What was the TV show?
Well, if I say it, you'll know.
It's not actually the name of the TV show.
It's something, and Pasco is the TV show, and that...
Oh, Dalziel and Pasco. Where does it come from first?
It's Scottish.
Okay.
I don't know why.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know why.
Don't know why the name's Scottish? I think you've got Scottish heritage.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know why the Scottish have decided to pronounce it the way that they have.
Oh, now I get it. Right. It's like... It's something like that.
I think that sounds German when you say it like that.
I don't know. Oh, this is fun. It had better be a long way from that now after all this build up. Okay. My guest is Lottie... No, this is where you say it. You're still waiting for me to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to figure it out. That's pretty clear now.
You have to say it first.
What? I don't know it.
No, you have to say Lottie and then I'll say it.
Oh, okay. My guest is Lottie...
DL. I'm not pulling your leg.
I didn't realise we were just shortening our names down to letters.
I know, just
DL.
5 silent letters. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, it's very strange.
So the ALZIE in the middle. Oh, nah.
You can kind of keep the E and the L at the end if you want.
What is it? DL?
DL.
Wow.
Yeah, very strange.
How was that through school?
Yeah, it's actually been more of an issue, I'd say, after school, because during school you're with the same cohort, you've got teachers, that kind of thing. Everyone gets a bit more used to it. It's probably now that's more the issue because I have this conversation a couple of times a day with people.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered just going with Dalziel?
Yes.
I always wonder that about people with certain names. Like there's a guy... Who was it? Oh, no, he had a cool name. Oh, not saying your name's not cool.
Rude. So I've got to actually head off. I'm busy now.
This is my thing. I invite people in, insult them, they leave, and I get a really good viral clip. If you could just storm out
that'd
and
be good.
Throw your headphones.
Perfect.
No, there's a guy in rugby and his name's, that's right, he plays on the wing. His name is Harry Potter.
I love that.
His name's Harry Potter.
That's amazing.
And I just think, what's his life been like? Magical.
Magical.
That was actually what happened. He scored a try in the corner and one of the commentators said, Harry Potter, magic. And I was like, oh, of course you had to do that.
You couldn't not. It was there.
But then there's ones where I hear and it's like, I guess like the surname, like, is it Koch?
Oh,
so
yes.
It's like it's cock, but isn't David, oh no, he's Kosh.
Yeah, that's
Koshy,
the thing. He's Kosh.
But there's ones like that where you just go, do you at some point just go, I'll just change my name. It'll just be easier.
I think there is a lot of my family who have just been like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to stick with Dalziel. But the thing is that nobody says just one other option. They do what you did at the start.
Oh.
Dalziel, Dalziel, Dalil, Dazzle. So it's not like there's a really easy way of looking at it.
No one's leaving out the Z. No one's going Dalil or something.
They do. Anyway, we're sticking with it. We're going with it.
You cannot win. And the thing is with you, right? So you, I have an intro that I've written for you.
We just got caught up on that one thing.
Yeah. I was like, because I was going to say, all the things you've done. New South Wales Young Australian of the Year. Yeah. Like someone's got to read your name out at that thing.
But they did it right. That was actually Perrottet, and he read it correctly. And the reason why I knew that I had received the award before he announced it was because I saw him look twice at the card. And I was like,
He looked
trying to
twice at
figure
the
out.
card, and he had written in brackets next to it,
Yeah.
D-I-A-L-L. D-L. D-I...
I think you do D
Could you go dial?
double E dash E double L E D L.
Z.
But I think that's why he was probably looking at it going, oh my gosh, what am I doing here?
No. Wow, that's great that he got that then. So Lottie Dalziel, a sustainability advocate, educator and entrepreneur, in 2018 founded Banish, a platform aimed at empowering Australians with the knowledge and tools to live more sustainably. I love your book, 365 plus ways to save the planet and your money at the same time. That's a title.
I know. Short last name, long title.
You've said that many times as well, haven't you?
No, I haven't actually. That was the first time.
It's only me that's brought up. Wow, that's a really long title. Because I love what you've done there, right? You got the 365 plus ways to save the planet. And some people would go, oh, great, I want that. And others would be like,
Whatever.
And your money at the same time. Oh, and so?
Listening now.
Tell me things. Yeah, so named New South Wales Young Australian of the Year in 2023 and featured in Forbes 30 Under 30 for her contributions to sustainability and entrepreneurship. Not bad. I would have done more by that age. Far out, man. What started all of that?
A New Year's resolution.
Really?
I know. One that actually stuck. There has been no other one since.
What was the New Year's and what year?
In 2018. Yeah.
Right.
So I just wanted to do better for the planet. It wasn't a smart goal. It didn't have anything tangible with it. I also made about 10 other New Year's resolutions that year. One of them was to run a half marathon and to become fluent in Spanish, which definitely has not happened.
I mean, you've achieved plenty of things. I don't think anyone's going to look at you and go, lazy.
Where's that half marathon? Not coming anytime soon. But it was back in the time when we were starting to see seabirds with plastic in their stomach, and we were starting to see sea levels rising. There was plastic bags still in supermarkets. All of these things that I was working as a journalist at the time.
Oh, okay.
Reading all of these articles about the doom and gloom that was happening to our planet. But there was no information saying, well, here's what you can do about it. It'd just tell you the problem. And I'd go, well, I want to do something now. You've told me that there's all of these, I don't know, fish with plastics in their stomach. So tell me how to help that not happen anymore. But there was nothing about that. And there was this really big disconnect. So I thought, well, why not turn this information and disseminate all of these really large and big studies that are coming out with sustainability into something actionable so that people can learn about the issue, but then do something about it.
Amazing. So where do you start? Because that's to a New Year's resolution. You go, right, I'm going to do something about this, to what you've done.
Yeah, it wasn't overnight. That's for sure.
What's your first step? Where'd you get a notebook out and scribble things down? Or
No, my first step was just kind of looking at my consumption. And literally when I had this kind of epiphany, I thought, well, I'm going to have a smoothie for breakfast. And in that smoothie, I'm going to put a single-use plastic straw. And you can kind of go, okay, well, I've just learned that plastic isn't great for the planet. So let's not use this plastic straw. Mm-hmm. So I just did a really simple and easy Google search and said, best sustainable straw, hundreds of thousands of results. And nothing was easy. Nothing was simple. Nothing was the same. There was glass straws, pasta straws, wheat straws, silicone straws, bamboo straws, stainless steel straws, all of these different options.
Yeah.
And I just wanted it to be easy. I just wanted somebody to say, look, Lottie, this is what you should be doing. Mm-hmm. Make it easy. Take the guesswork out of it. But being a journalist, I was going, well, I can do a life cycle assessment of a straw. I can look into all of the different studies. I can find out all of this information. So I did the research because that's what I loved doing. Eventually figured out a set of stainless steel straws was the best solution for me. And then I ordered them online from a company that I thought was doing the right thing for the planet. I ordered 5 and they came individually wrapped in plastic.
ah, no!
So sad.
Oh, individually double wrapped.
I know, it was horrible. So I kind of saw this issue going, well, I've tried to do the right thing. I've spent my time, I've spent my money, and I've just been completely led up the garden path, or what we would now call greenwashed.
Were they doing it as a thing of like this is better for the planet, get stainless steel straws.
Yeah.
Ah.
But they obviously were just doing it for money, but not actually
Yeah.
having the right intentions.
With those kind of things, because that's really interesting, you as a journalist background, and then you look into it, because there's a big thing at the moment, I think about like the batteries in the electric cars.
Yeah.
And then people saying that, like the amount of energy it takes actually to make those batteries. And I don't know how much of it's true or whatever, but when you hear those things, I never would have even thought about that before. I would have just gone, yeah, electric. That makes sense.
Yeah. Tick, tick.
But the things that are required to make those things.
And the disposal of them is a really tricky one as well.
And even the shipping of the 5 straws.
Yeah, exactly.
All of that stuff and the packaging and all those.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it'd be tough for someone like you to, when you're, you got to check all that stuff, don't you?
Yeah, and it's hard.
You really do.
The everyday person isn't going to want to do that. But I thought, well, if I'm doing all of this work and this research anyway, I may as well just be telling people what I'm doing and the result of this research, so that I'm removing other barriers for people, so that when they go to make a sustainable choice, they know exactly where to go. They know exactly what to do. So it kind of snowballed, and I started documenting everything online. So as I was on my sustainability journey, I was showing people what I was doing. I was saying, well, this is what I'm doing now, or this is the change that I've made here. And it started really resonating with a lot of people.
Yeah, because you're not just jumping straight on and going, these straws are the best. Get these ones.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, it's the story. It's the evolution as you go along. That I got these, and they're wrapped in plastic.
Exactly. And that's when I think, found the most connection with other people, was when I don't know, tried to make a sustainable choice, but then I got caught up with it. Or I kind of got greenwashed myself, and everyone was going, it is harder. It's not about being perfect. It's about making those small changes.
And learning as you go. What's greenwashing?
So greenwashing is when a brand tries to market to an individual, but they're not actually doing the right thing for the planet. So say, for example, it could be me deciding to launch a cleaning product, and I put on the outside, I make it a green packet. I put flowers and leaves all over it, and I call it Lottie's Green and Clean Cleaner. Inside is actually filled with bleach. So I've tried to make it sustainable to appeal to you as somebody who wants to do the right thing.
But not saying.
But it's not actually.
But they don't. But do they actually say, like, this is a great thing for the environment, that sort of thing?
They could use
they don't need
terms
to.
like green and eco and natural.
Yeah, but they're just talking about the colour on the packaging.
Exactly. But there's actually no certification behind the use of those terms. So you could say like eco, green, natural cleaner. But what does that mean?
And there's no one.
No, there's no green tick of approval in Australia. We don't have anything like that.
Is there anywhere?
There's starting to become some overseas. So we've started to see the ACCC in Australia kick off on some brands and really take them down on a couple of different things. But that's when you're a huge multinational, not when you're a smaller brand or a medium-sized brand, or some of these big multinational corporations have been selling products for years and they're only just getting caught for greenwashing now.
Wow.
So it's really hard, because as a society, we want to do better for the planet now. Marketers are even savvier and are marketing to this desire. So we think we're doing the right thing. We feel great about purchasing this cleaner or whatever it is, just to feel like we've done the wrong thing. And it's really frustrating and overwhelming to a lot of people. So part of what we do at Banish is try and make it easier for people, so that they know exactly what they can do when it comes to the planet, so that it removes those barriers and people go, yes, I know that I can live more sustainably. And it's not going to be an overnight thing. It's going to be a journey, but we're all on our own journey. We can all do something about it.
Is it tough for you? Like, there would be things that you do that are not great for the planet, that you do.
Yeah,
Because you're a person.
exactly.
And some things you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, there's it's dangerous waters in the world today. Someone could look at this video of you on there and see the particular headphones that you're wearing or something and go, oh yeah, those headphones that she's wearing, you know, stuff like that.
But it's everything.
Tough,
Yeah.
I would think, to come out. Do you ever copy any of it? Of that from people?
A lot on TikTok, probably more than anything.
Uh-huh.
But I think for me, I've never said that I'm perfect, and I'm never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
I still consume plastic. I still drive a car. I still live what I would consider a normal lifestyle, but it's a lot better than it was.
That's
And
just what I'm
the whole
saying. Like,
thing.
when you just said I still consume those sort of, I just picture like you going to a fast food place or something, and they serve that up, and then, you know, you're out there in everyone's feeds as looking after the planet and making all these great sustainable choices and stuff, and then someone snaps a photo of you with, plastic bags all over the thing and that. Does that play on your mind at all?
No, because I don't think it's realistic for anybody to be completely perfect when it comes to sustainability. It's about that journey. And I know that I obviously am a role model and I wouldn't consume a coffee that is in a single-use cup, for example. And
do you have to
like
think of those things?
Well, as a person, I wouldn't do that anyway. So it's not like I'm worried about being paparazzi snapped. But I think it is one of those things that, yes, when I go to the supermarket, there is plastic in my shopping trolley, but there's less plastic than there used to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole point about living sustainably is it's not about being perfect. It's not about starting that gym routine and never eating sugar, always going to the gym, never eating a piece of chocolate ever again. Living sustainably is about the same. It's about making small incremental changes to your habits that in the long run will make a really big impact. And if you do fall off the bandwagon, it's just about getting back on and making those small changes.
And those things that you learned along that way and then you fall off the bandwagon, whatever, they're still there in your head. So when you do then again go, I'm going to get back to doing this, you've got that knowledge.
Exactly.
I'm going to get some of the easiest ones that we can do, and then I also want to get whether there are ones that we think we're doing the right thing, but we're not.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I know there'll be ones. I just know that there'll be ones of those.
Yeah.
What are some really simple, quick ones that people can do to live more sustainably? And it's not hard.
I think the biggest one would be, and it comes back to saving money as well, is food waste is one of the biggest issues for our planet, but also for our pockets as well. So in Australia, we throw away about 20% of our groceries. That's 20% of our groceries that is ending up in landfill, which is not good for the planet, but it's also costing us thousands of dollars for every household every single year. So could we not just eat what's already in that crisper rather than buying more of that, or use up what you've got? Love those bendy carrots and roast them all up rather than throwing them away. That's a really simple one. It doesn't require you to spend more money, doesn't require any fancy tools. It just comes down to loving all of the food that's already in your fridge.
You bought it. You obviously want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Imagine if you had a goal of you run out of food each week. That's that we'll eat everything that we've bought, and then we'll go get more stuff.
Exactly.
But not be chucking things out.
I try and do 1 week of the month where I don't actually go to the supermarket at all, and I just eat whatever is around. I'm eating through my freezer. I'm eating the weird I'm making the funkiest food there is around.
It's your time, broccoli.
Exactly. I'm using the stalk of the broccoli. I'm using it all up because then I'm not having to go to the shops. I'm saving money, but I'm also saving the planet as well. So I think food waste is a huge one that we probably aren't thinking about too much. And I think that's something that I'd love to bring to everyone's attention.
And I love that it's actually a money-saving thing as well.
Yeah.
If you're going through what you've already got there, then you're not going and buying more things. You will save money.
Yeah.
King Cup and Mitre Chan have been big supporters of the Podvan podcast right from the start. And you get all the stuff from them that you'd expect to. You get plants, you get all the Weber stuff, you get all the still gear, the amazing Principal kitchens. But it's the stuff that you don't expect.
We had an elderly lady come into the store and she brought her remote control from her television and she didn't know how to get it to work. And we opened it up and saw that she just needed new batteries. And then she told me that her husband had recently passed away. So he was the one that did all that stuff for her and she didn't have anybody around to do that. So she needed us. So we took batteries out of the packet and put them in the remote and we helped her out and made her day.
That's what you get. And the mighty helpful King Cup and Mitre Chan. Have you been to Gwendolyn Bowling Club? They're right there on the shores of Lake Macquarie. They do delicious meals upstairs in the Foreshore Bistro and Cafe, which is run by the Dish Catering Group, so you know it's good stuff. And you can dine out on the balcony looking out over the lake. It is beautiful. They got the cute little Foreshore kiosk for a coffee and snacks right by the jetty. The entertainment's top notch. They got Friday night seafood raffles and Sunday sessions with live music in the beer garden. You want to find out what's happening at the club? Check out their Facebook page or visit gwendolynbowlingclub.com.au. What else? What do you reckon's the simplest thing we can do?
I think one of the simplest things you could do would be, when it comes to power, is to turn off your switches at the wall. So, you know, when you've got, say, for example, a plug, you've just unplugged your phone charger or whatever, turn it off.
I
Don't
just do that
leave
because
it.
it hurts my brain to look at them and they're switched on. Does that actually make a difference?
It trickles. It's like the equivalent of like a dripping tap.
Yeah.
So it's called phantom power. And it's just sitting there. It's still using a tiny little bit of power. But if you think about all of those different plugs everywhere around, just by switching them off makes a huge difference. Things like, I sound like the IT person at your work, but turning off your computer rather than putting it into standby mode overnight, all of these little things add up to making a really big difference.
And not necessarily from you, one person doing those four switches in your house, but if everyone
Exactly.
was doing that simple little thing.
Yeah, it'd make a huge, big difference. I think as we're coming into winter now, it's something to consider putting on an extra jumper and a pair of socks rather than being that person that's like, oh, I'm just going to quickly turn on the heating, do something like that. All of these things, they're not revolutionary. They're not innovative. They just come back down to us looking at why are we so reliant on convenience? Why are we so reliant on all of these things when we don't actually think about the impact that they're having? And I think that sometimes is just needed before you take an action. It's just considering the planet in your pocket at the same time as well as saying, okay, if I am going to go and make, I don't know, a new fashion purchase, why am I making that purchase? Is it something that I really need? Is there something that I've already got at home that I could mend, repair, or just bring back to life from the depths of your wardrobe? It's just about really considering all of these different items, but it's hard in this economy in this day and age because you look around and everything is accessible and available to you. If I was watching a TikTok the other day and somebody was saying, they're like, oh, here's this top that I've got. It was yellowing under the arms, so I just went and bought another one. And I was going, you could have just washed it.
Washed it.
And cleaned it.
Yeah.
But because there's no, like you can buy that shirt for $15.
Yeah.
They're probably going, well, it's just easier for me to get another one.
Yeah.
And not considering the impact.
So it's a really awesome way that you've done it in the two things hand in hand, the help the planet and save yourself some money. If you actually stop and think about these things.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing is so many barriers to entry with living sustainably. When I have conversations with people, they're like, I want to do it. I just can't afford it. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, but it doesn't actually require you to buy anything new. It requires you
Some
to
things do.
Some things do.
Some things do. Yeah.
But
and they're more expensive.
Yes.
Those products.
But if they're going to last you a long time, say, for example, take a safety razor, a good old-fashioned razor that our grandparents used to use, that is $42. That is expensive for a razor. But that razor is going to last you 10, 15 years.
When you say safety razor, you mean like the cutthroat one?
So you've got a cutthroat one,
blade.
but there's like a one that almost looks like a plastic razor now, that it's got a butterfly
Oh,
open.
yeah.
You can get those all-metal ones. And the blades themselves are 12 cents. And the actual razor, I've had mine since 2018, so it's at 7 years.
Ah, okay. So you've got the whole handle, the whole blade, and you're just replacing the...
Yeah, the blade.
I mean, you've got the whole handle, but you're just replacing the blade.
Yeah, exactly. And the blade is completely recyclable.
As opposed to chucking out full razors all the time.
So as an investment, yes, $42 for a razor is expensive. But if you're looking at that cost per use over a long period of time, it's going to be saving you a lot of money in the long run. So I do think that with some products, yes, it is an upfront investment. But if we look at their long time use of them, they are going to be working out to be better for the planet as well.
Hey, tell us about Brad. He seems like a lovely guy.
He is a lovely guy. So Brad is the Banish Recycling and Diversion Program. It's a recycling program that I started because I'd been running Banish for a couple of years and I was looking for a way to give back to our community. And one thing that I was finding as an individual was I was practicing what I was preaching and using the safety razors and reducing my waste as much as possible, but I was still having to throw things into my red bin every month. And I'd look at items like pill packets or bottle top lids or empty beauty products and I'd go, well, I can see the resources in these items. Why can't I recycle them? If you look at a blister pack or a pill packet, you can see there's aluminium, you can see there's clear plastic. So why can't I recycle these items?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Tick, tick,
yeah.
tick, tick,
Processing
tick,
it.
tick,
Just
tick.
going, okay. So when you say recycling, I'm thinking the yellow bin.
Yeah, but you can't put these items
You can't put
in your
those
yellow
things in there.
bin.
Yet they could be recycled, is what you're
Exactly.
saying. They can't go in the recycling bin, but that aluminium can be melted down and made into something else,
Yeah.
as opposed to going into the red bin, going into landfill.
Exactly.
Right.
So I kind of saw this disconnect and again, did lots of research, found different micro recyclers who would say, yeah, you know what? I can recycle your blister packs. And I'd say, great, I've got 3. No. They didn't want my 3, unfortunately. But they said, if you've got 100 kilos of blister packs, then we can start recycling them. And I'd do more research. I'd talk to somebody about like pesky plastic bread tags. And they'd say, great, we won't take your 12 bread tags, but we can turn 2,000 into a bowl. So all of these different people I was chatting to, and I was just writing everything down going, well, this is the minimum quantity I need to get. This is the minimum quantity I need to get. So I put it out there to the Banish community and I said, look, I'm frustrated because I can't recycle these items. They're going into landfill, but let's pull together all of our resources so that we can then get the blister packs recycled. We can get the bread tags recycled, the bottle top lids.
So
can
how
be
do you
turned
do
into
that? Because you
something
can't
else.
have people posting them to you.
Well, yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, it's a bizarre concept, right? It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, so I literally said to people, I was like, just post them to me in the mail. We'll pull them together and we'll recycle them. It's bizarre. Nobody thought it would work.
And they did?
Yeah, they did. This started 4.5 years ago. We now get 70 shoeboxes a day. Last year, we received almost 18,000 shoeboxes in the mail from around Australia.
Of blister packs.
It's like Christmas. You open up these boxes and they're filled
It's a
with
weird
everything.
Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a very weird Christmas. I don't know. Maybe we do Christmas differently.
Christmas every day at Banish. So pretty much there's there'll be some blister packs, some beauty products, some coffee pods, some bottle top lids. We have an amazing team of volunteers who then sort them into the different streams so that then we can send the 100 kilos of the blister packs off to be recycled.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw a thing you put up online. I think it's some new coasters.
Yeah.
That you got made?
Pretty. They're made from bottle top lids.
I thought they were bottle top lids.
Exactly.
How cool to buy those and have those in your home, and then because they look different, and people go, "Oh, they're different," and you go, "Yeah, they're made out of bottle top lids."
Exactly.
It's actually a cool thing to say.
It is. And it's that conversation
Yeah.
as well. Because someone goes, oh, I love this one. And you go, oh, yeah, used to be bottle top lids. Oh, used to be bread tags. And I think it's also just showing people that things don't have to be linear. They don't have to be made from, I don't know, whatever they used to be made from. It's kind of going, this can be a circular movement. We can turn resources and keep them in amazing
What's
things.
the costs in that stuff, though? Like, for, you get this 100 kilos of bottle lids or whatever.
Yeah.
And you got to get into the thing. Do they charge you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for a lot of the streams that we take, there is a fee involved. That's why your local council won't accept things like blister packs in your yellow bin because they cost money to recycle. Because in order to separate the aluminium from the plastic, it has to go through a lot more processing than, say, for example, an aluminium can. So because of that, that's why there is a fee involved with recycling with Brad. Say, for example, to get a coaster, we get all of the bottle top lids. We sort them by the type of plastic and the colour. So that's why when you have a blue coaster, that's made from full cream bottle top lids. There's no dyes or additives. We just use the colours already existed. So that's why when you get a red coaster, that's all of your Coke bottles.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we process them. So we sort the bottle top lids by the type of plastic and the colour, wash them, shred them down, and then press them into different moulds. And we do that all at Central Station.
You do all that yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, so when you say you send them away,
So some streams
some
we
things you
send
do, yeah,
away.
aluminium and that kind of
Exactly.
thing.
And then some streams we process ourselves.
You got like a factory that
Yeah.
shreds
Yeah.
lids and presses them into. Cool.
Yeah, Central Station in Sydney. If you're ever around, come and have a look.
Not actual central.
Yeah,
The train station. It's there.
Yeah. Where all of the Murray's buses go to Canberra, that's where we are, on Pitt Street.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, the rent must be cheap there.
We're lucky.
you've
We're
chosen-
supported there. We're supported there because we're bringing people to the area. We're showing people how recycling happens in real life. So you can come and see it all
You can
happening.
actually go in there and see
Yeah.
this is all happening.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Yeah, and so good that then you are in a place like that.
Exactly.
So you're tucked away out the back of an industrial area.
No, so you can come and see, you can see what's happening. For example, we have volunteers who come through and they help sort all of the bottle top lids, or they sort all of the boxes, so opening them all up. So that's amazing, because that's people connecting with one another in the community over sustainability, having conversations about things that they're struggling with, what they're looking to improve in their lives. But also in general, it gives people a way to take action. Because the biggest thing is you can feel so hopeless and that you can't do anything.
What's me switching off my 4 PowerPoints really going to do for the planet?
But together, we're making a really big impact. And I think that's the biggest thing, is we can't rely on just a couple of people to do everything and go, oh, no, it's fine. I'm not going to turn off those PowerPoints because Lottie's got it under control. It's going, no, we can all do our little bit.
Wow, that's so cool. When you say you're at Central Station there in Sydney, my son's going through there all the time. He's 20. He's totally the type that would walk past that and see that and go, oh my God, this is cool.
Exactly.
How do I get involved?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bet you get all different ages.
Exactly. We get everybody. And that's the best part about it, because you get the oldies who are consuming more blister packs than a lot of the other, the rest of the generations.
Yeah.
But then you also get the really young people who are just learning about this all for the first time. And I think that's the best thing about it, is it's not just one generation, it's everybody doing something.
I want to finish this with how people send you a shoebox and what goes in it. Are people sending like 3 blister pack things in an envelope, or it's like, no, get a shoebox together?
Get a shoebox. Get it. That's what we recommend, is a shoebox. We don't send you a shoebox in the mail. Use something you've already got at home. So an empty shoebox, Wheat Bix box, whatever it is. You can send a case of beer size box as well if you want to go for a lot. So start collecting these items. That's the first step. Because
what items?
Everything. So blister packs, beauty products, coffee pods, plastic toothbrushes, toothpaste tubes, plastic bread tags, single-use cutlery, single-use coffee cups, soy sauce, fishies, I don't know,
really?
Floss containers.
When you say beauty product things, so I'm picturing like a tube that you squeeze mascara out,
all your shampoo bottles,
foundation out of it, all these things.
Yeah.
Don't laugh when you say shampoo bottles. I heard and saw what you did there. Don't think I didn't notice. Shampoo bottles. You pointed and laughed.
Sorry.
Like Nelson from The Simpsons. I heard. What happens with those? So all of those things come in. Do they get melted down?
So it depends on the strain.
Because a toothbrush has those fibres and the toothbrush.
So if an item has mixed materials, so say, for example, a mascara, a bronzer, a toothbrush, because those are mixed material, they're going to go into a lower quality product when they're produced. So things like the bumpers in a car park, for example.
What do you mean?
Oh, we're in a car park. You know when you can't move from one spot to the next, there's like that little bumper that stops you from driving in? Yeah. So that could be made from recycled plastics. Right. We could also create road base. Our coffee cups, for example, go into a lightweight concrete. All of these different things. And then we've got the range of products where we actually remanufacture them ourselves in-house. So that's the things like the coasters, earrings, so you can't see them because of the headphones, pens.
I did see your earrings. They're green because they go with your jacket and top there. Oh, they're cool.
Huge. Bottle top lids. Yeah.
Bottle top lids.
Exactly. It could be laptop stands. There's so many different things that we can create.
I think it's so cool.
Thank you.
All right. So it's plastics essentially.
Plastics, but we've also got the aluminium. Yeah, there's a whole list on our website.
Okay, because I'm thinking, I'm not confident enough to start a shoebox because I'm like, oh, what if I'm throwing things in there that... And you must get those.
Yeah.
That you go, red bin.
But what we generally say to people is just start collecting them. We've got an email address where you can send all of your questions. So people sometimes will literally take a photo of their shoebox, send it to the Brad team and say, can I send you all of this stuff? And people say, yes, no, blah, 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 blah. There's a whole list on the website. Just start collecting and putting aside a couple of things. So choose. Maybe for you it could be the blister packs and the bottle top lids. Start with 2 streams and then just build up and up from there.
I'm doing this.
I love it.
I'm doing it. I can picture in my house where it's going to be. So we've got the 2 bins. We've got the recycling one and the normal rubbish one. I'm going to attach one to the wall above it.
Love it.
another bin or something. I'll screw it to the wall if I need to. But
Perfect.
just something that, when the milk. So when the milk bottle, the 2 litre plastic milk bottle, that goes in the recycling. The lid doesn't?
Some councils, you have to check with your local council. Every council in Australia recycles differently. Some councils are what we call a lids off council. So they don't actually want your bottle top lid on that plastic item when it goes into your yellow bin. Because what happens is the bottles or all the plastic gets compacted and put into a square cube. So if you've got air still left in that, it's like New Year's Eve. Pop, 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 pop. All of your bottle top lids are just popping off, and then they actually don't recycle them. So that's why we take them. But you need to check, because some councils will go, yes, we'll take your lids.
Yeah.
Other councils will say no. Say, for example, if we look at the container deposit schemes around Australia, New South Wales, lids on. Queensland, lids off.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it easier just then to don't put your lids in there, put your lids in this other thing?
I would
and
still
send them
say
all to
check
you?
with your local council.
Why? Is it better that it goes to them than to you?
We don't want to compete with your local council. We're trying to kind of bridge the gap between people recycle 50% of their waste at home. We're trying to be that extra 5, extra 10%. We don't want to take over from all of them.
Right.
So that's why we kind of settle and do our own streams. We don't want your milk bottle tops. We don't want your milk bottles. We just want the tops.
Do you have, I'm sure you do, but do you have something that like we could print out and put on the wall above that bin?
Yeah, so we've got a downloadable guide, but you can also, there's one online that you can purchase and we send you it printed in the mail, because we've got some oldies that need that.
Because I think that is the biggest challenge with this whole thing, right, is make it easy.
Yeah,
You've just got to, because it's at that point where you've grabbed the milk while you're going to throw it in the thing, and where you go, wait, am I meant to be doing it?
Yeah.
And it just goes in the bin.
Exactly. So we've got little postcards that you stick on the front of it. It has a list of everything on there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you're doing. I
Thanks
think
for having me.
It's so cool. And I love spreading the word about this kind of thing, because, you don't know what you don't know. And, it's through things like this.
So profound.
Get out of my van.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Because we just need more people to know about this kind of stuff. That's the thing. We're working away at Central Station, but the more people that know about what we're doing, the bigger it grows and the more impact that we can have. So thank you.
The website is
Banish.com.au.
Thanks for jumping in.
Thanks so much for having me.